Hi everyone, this is Tanya the Lady Strange. Welcome to day 16 of 31 Days of Strange, where I show different items in my collection, whether they are from divinatory items, from the magic, the macabre, the strange, heavy metal, and just also my personal journey, interests, magic, and practice. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are passing through, welcome. And you're a returning subscriber and viewer, thank you. And you've been following this journey thus far. That is greatly appreciated. Either way, it's all good, as I say. So, with that being said, this is going to be for day 16. This is going to be a show and tell of my very recent acquisition, a very lucky recent acquisition, to an antique shop that my husband and I frequent on a regular basis. They have a lot of eclectic stuff, really old, kind of, as you can expect in some type of weird consignment places, grungy, old stuff that's kind of worthless. A lot of very interesting and antique stuff, and kind of rare things, and a lot of in between. So again, it is a great place for us to go to find various things. And we each usually end up finding maybe 6 out of 10 times, maybe 7, something that strikes our fancy or we can add to our collections. So, awesome. But that's one of our favorite things, is to walk around Rome and see the different things of the past and the oddity, the things that hold energy, memory, or things that may incorporate or speak to us in our collection and gift. So this one is going to be called, this one still has a sticker on it, but I'll just leave it on. Who cares? They were great finds and ended up, without my knowledge, being 25% off on top of that. It is the Cups of Fortune by Red Rose Tea. So here's the first one. This one doesn't have the corresponding saucer. I did not find it in the other section of teacups that I was looking at that I found these in perspective. But who cares? The second one is fully intact. They are in great shape. No chips, no damage. And yeah. So these are for like fortune telling and tasseomancy, no surprise. I collect things like this in my collection. So when I saw this and I saw just like the side markings, it's like, the heck? And I knew intuitively and from my knowledge and wisdom already that it was something that I would definitely want in my collection. And since they were in pristine condition, minus the saucer for this one, I saw the first one, and then I ended up seeing the second one. I don't know if there's more. I haven't done any major research yet, but I will. So this is by the company Red Rose, which if you watch any of my very old videos, you would see that Red Rose is my favorite black tea. It was the tea that my grandmother drank. She made like iced tea in the sun with it. She was a big unsweetened iced tea drinker, which I inherited that love for that. On occasion, I do like sweetened iced tea. But she had that and hot tea. And once in a while, my great-grandmother would also have that, whom I was very close to. I was fortunate to live next to both of them and have that different energy, that heritage, that connection, the different things that they brought to the table, including us and my other grandmother didn't live far away. So fortunate to have those empowered females in my life, and that taught me different things. And I have many, all three have passed on, but I have major memories, love, support, and wisdom and gifts from them. And that helps to carry me through this life. And on occasion, one is my guide. She's kind of moved on to another family members because they need it, of course, which is perfectly fine. But she still pops in on occasion. The other two are more at peace, and I don't really connect with them as much other than a memory and voice and reverence, but that's fine too. So with that being said, that's just a little backstory about the Red Rose tea and what it means to me. And again, it's a great black tea, and still my favorite for iced tea and that. And the memories it holds, but also my own pleasure and enjoyment and relaxation. It is still my tea of choice. So this has, as you can see here, this first one has, for example, grapes. These are just symbols. It has on it a boot, eggs, a ship. So you get the general idea on it. It's not a large teacup. They're smaller, like more of a demitasse. I probably said that wrong, but size type of cup. Now the second one has different markings on it. It has bird, clovers, house, anchor, as you can see on it. And this is in gold too, so it's not like cheap. It's actually in that, and these are in bone china. So these are definitely a great in all aspects for that, and being a collector and tea drinker. I love teacups. I've gained that love of collecting teacups and china in certain aspects from my mother. My mother and I and sister have often tea parties at different times of the year, or I host them. So yes, there's also that element in there, the magic of tea and brew and potion, which is brought into it. Here is the saucer that goes with it. It has its own symbols. This goes with the second one on this. So it has its own symbology, for example, like the lion, the fish, a cloud, a star. So quite fascinating. And again, I couldn't resist. And then when I saw it was 25% off, even better. I know I got it much cheaper. And yes, so obviously the spirits and the guides were for me. And I knew there was something out there for me when I got that. You know, that I would find something. And I did. So it was nice when your guides and the universe kind of guide you, and of course your intuition, that there is supposed to be something for you. And again, this has dualistic or several meanings for me. Also, I would love to learn just a quick portion of this, that I would love to learn tasseomancy on it. I have never really tried on that. Obviously, I know several forms of divination and have those gifts and abilities, which these things do run throughout different members of my family and generations that I know of in different forms. Big or small, even if they're not practitioners, the gifts are still there, and it's amazing. It's amazing that I'm inherited it from the female side of my families, that they had those, and some of them embrace it more so than others. But it's nice even to have that pop up in day-to-day life in my growth and experience. So I want to learn tasseomancy. I'm great at, obviously, tarot and oracle divination, channeling, and medium, as that learns and grows and enhances, reading crystals, sometimes reading signs, speaking telepathically with spirits, and having often intuitive dreams, feelings, etc. throughout my life. I also teaching myself casting of different forms, and eventually more things, ruins, etc. So it is an ever-learning, growing process of wisdom. If you watch my previous videos, I am fascinated by all that process, the occult. That's what makes Tanya, Tanya. That will never change, whether I am 45 like I am now, or whether I make it to 90, or whatever the case. Then any of my days there and in between and in the past have been just a fascination. It is a root of who I am. To be connected to the universe, my abilities and gifts, and also heritage. So my mentioning about tasseomancy, I do have a book or two, so I do got to delve into them. Maybe that will be one of the things of my many things on my extensive list of goals from this upcoming Samhain of 2024 to 2025. So we'll see. We'll see where my path takes me and where I'm led and what works for me and empowers me and helps me attain wisdom and strength. So the other thing I wanted to mention is, because of the tasseomancy and heritage and gifts, my great-grandmother actually, I guess, was an avid tea leaf reader and done tassomancy for her other self, or for herself and for others, I mean to say. However, and she was good at it, I guess. She enjoyed it for most of her life. And then there was a point where she actually, I guess, she saw things and visions with it, more in detail. I believe it was a combination of clairvoyance and the tassomancy, and all of that speaking and marrying together. But she saw her own death, I guess, at one point in a reading, and far into her doing that for quite a while. She saw her own death. And I guess it scared the hell out of her. I mean, who doesn't in those many things? If they've ever read a Ouija board or been to certain readers or methods and have been told that mortality and is quite a scary thing, or can be. So yes. So that is and superstitious. So she actually saw her own death, and she warned her daughter not to do it, and to make sure anyone substantially after that, I guess, not to do it because of that, and that it was something she no longer did. She denounced. Well, that may mean my great-grandmother never did it, and my grandmother never had an interest in those types of gifts or things anyways. She was more of a practical type of woman, the one I mentioned that drank the red rose tea, that these cups were produced by that company or commissioned by. However, in that aspect, in that my great-great-grandmother did die by that method, that she saw. There's got to be something to the divinatory and intuition, or maybe her guides warned her. Whatever the case is, and whatever you believe in, if you've had any of those experiences, you do tassomancy, you collect tea cups, enjoy tea, or any other forms of divination, then please comment below. If you like any of my videos, previous, present, or hopefully future, please like, comment, subscribe, as it helps my channel grow, and blessed be.